In the third inquiry, called Slander, we hear about great lies and abuse. In the past, it seems, the Buddha to be, in a little-known life, was reborn and became a scoundrel called Munali, and through the power of association with bad people, abused the independent Buddha called Surabhi, saying, "This monk is unvirtuous and wicked." Through that unwholesome verbal deed, he boiled in the Nirya hell for many thousands of years, and in this his last state, through being successful in the 10 perfections, he became the Buddha and attained the highest gains and fame. Again the sectarians became insolent, saying, "Now what will bring this ascetic Gautama to infamy?" And they sat there pained and depressed. Then a certain wanderer called Sundari approached, worshipped them and stood there. But seeing them silent and not speaking anything, she questioned them, saying, "What is my fault? We are being harassed by that ascetic Gautama, and you are making no effort. That is your fault. What should I do in this matter? Will you be able to bring the ascetic Gautama into disrepute?" She said, "I am able, noble ones." And it is recorded that she was frequently seen in the vicinity and abused and censured the Buddha by saying, after sleeping alone with the ascetic Gautama in the fragrant cottage, "I am leaving." And also the sectarians said, "Look, dear friends, at the ascetic Gautama's deed," and abused and censored him. And so this was said, "In a previous life I was a scoundrel known as Munali. I slandered the innocent, independent Buddha Surabhi. Through that deed and through its result, I long transmigrated through hell. For many thousands of years I experienced unpleasant feelings. Through the remainder of that deed, here in my last existence, I received much slander myself at the hands of Sundarika." In the fourth inquiry, called Slander, we hear about especially great abuse and censoring. In the past, it seems, the Buddha-to-be was reborn in a Brahminical family and was very learned, much respected and worshipped. Having gone forth in the recluses going forth, while living on forest roots and fruits in the Himalaya, he spent his time teaching the mantras to many students. One recluse who had the 5 deep knowledges and the 8 attainments came to stay near him. Having seen him and being jealous by nature, he slandered that innocent seer, saying, "This seer is a deceitful sensualist," and his pupils also said, "This seer is surely immoral." They therefore abused and censored him. Through that unwholesome deed and its result, after undergoing suffering in Nirya hell for many thousands of years, and becoming a Buddha in this his last state, and attaining the highest gains and fame, he became famous and was like the full moon in the sky. Right there and then, the dissatisfied sectarians made Sundari slander him again, summoning and bribing some drunken scoundrels, and gave the order, saying, after murdering Sundari, throw her by the rubbish tip near the entrance to Jata's wood. And that they did. Afterwards the sectarians informed the king, saying, "We cannot find Sundari." The king said, "Search for her." After retrieving her from the place where she was felled, bringing the bier and showing the king, they said, "Look, dear sir, at what the ascetic Gautama's disciples have done. Then they went round shouting out dispraise about the Gracious One and his community of monks in the whole town, and placed Sundari on a platform in the charnel ground. The king gave the order, saying, "Seek for Sundari's murderer." Then after the scoundrels had drunk liquor, they made a commotion and accused each other, saying, "You murdered Sundari, you murdered her." The king's men, after arresting the scoundrels, brought them to the king, and he said, "Did you murder Sundari?" "Yes, your majesty." "Who gave the order?" "The sectarians, your majesty." The king had the sectarians brought and bound and said, "Go and shout it out, saying, in order to bring the Buddha into disrepute, we ourselves had Sundari murdered. The Gracious One and his disciples didn't do it." And that they did. All the town dwellers regained confidence. The king executed the sectarians and the scoundrels and had their bodies thrown aside. Then the Gracious One's gains and respect grew enormously. Therefore it is said, "As the Brahmin Satavar, I was greatly respected and worshipped. I taught the mantras to my 500 students in the great wood. The seer Bhima, who had 5 knowledges and great power, came there, and having seen him coming, I slandered that innocent seer. Thereupon I said to my pupils, 'This seer is a sensualist,' and all the students rejoiced in that unwholesome speech of mine. Thence all the students, as they begged for alms from family to family, said to the great body of people, 'This seer is a sensualist.' Through that deed and through its result, these monks, numbering 500, all received abundant slander at the hands of Sundarika.